Number one, it's an exciting day. Signing days always are. I think they've changed a little bit when you have an early signing date, but it's exciting day across the country for a lot of young student athletes. We're excited about the 23 guys that we signed today. I think staff-wise, and we've worked really hard, and also with our players, because your players have a lot to do with influencing your signees and influencing them to come. But, we worked hard to recruit guys who fit our culture of toughness, mental and physical. We evaluated our needs and think that we have addressed those needs. Nothing's ever certain, but we feel very good about the young men we have recruited. And we've recruited in a manner that we're going to create competition at all positions. And at the same time, there's some guys who'll benefit from the development that Adam Hall and what our guys in the strength staff do. So, and then obviously from a fundamental and technique standpoint. So really, really happy, excited about the class, and look forward to getting them on campus.
Hey, Brady, can you talk about the Mississippi State transfer quarterback and then also the small school quarterback from Ironwood, Arizona? How do you equate somebody playing at a much smaller school being able to make a jump to this next level?
Yeah, Lee, I think that's a great discussion point that you can have. I remember when I was at Oregon State from 1989 to 94, there was quite a bit of eight-man football. So we were recruiting some of those guys, and you always worried, but when you play eight-man football on that field, you can really see guys who have athleticism. And obviously with Will, we think he's a guy that come in and will compete along with Jalen. And so, we like the dual threat that they both give us. Will's numbers are pretty incredible, and really excited about Jalen and him wanting to be here.
Was there a contact? How does the kid from Mississippi State wind up at San Diego State?
Well, I think he knew that you cover the Aztecs, and so no, there. Obviously Zach Arnett's there, and some conversations with Zach. You use what you can. You find out as much as you can.
And did Haskell, was that eight-man football he played?
No, it's 5A.
Hey, Coach, good to see you. A couple questions in regards to Will Haskell. We had the chance from afar to see some of the things that he's done on social media, some of the athleticism he's shown, jumping on top of a Volkswagen Bug and some other things. How much of, not just that, but just his athleticism overall has impressed you?
Probably like it did you, Troy. I mean, he does something on social media that you look at, and I know he did a box jump on a 52-inch box jump after doing power cleans and backflip and all those things. I don't think I would recruit myself because I can't do either one of those things. But when you see a guy with that kind of athleticism, and then obviously how he plays, I remember a long time ago when I was an assistant at Michigan, we met with a scout from the Dolphins, the player personnel director, and it was an 8-hour meeting. And on the last page of the booklet he gave us, it said the film. And, we can be enamored by athleticism and things that guys can do, but it's got to come down to what they put on tape. And that's why we recruited Will.
And changing the topic just a little bit, Coach, about the remainder of your 2020 season, if there is a remainder, can you give us an update as to whether or not you'll be playing another game? Be it at this point?
Yeah, well, I just got off literally the practice field. So we practiced this morning. or not this morning, but this afternoon. This is a bowl eligible team. I think you look at what these guys have done and been through. We are actively, and JD's doing a great job searching for, some place to land. I think with some of the bowl games canceling, period, your numbers go down. And I know there's teams that have also decided not to, but one thing about this team, we've had 4,500 tests. 4,500. We've only had 2 positive tests out of 4,500. To me, that is remarkable. I don't know what you all think, but I know one thing, 18 to 22, and to have 4,500 tests is incredible, only to have 2 positive. As we navigate what's next, I think the one thing is we're gonna do what's right for these kids. If we don't find anything out in the near future, we're gonna make a decision that we're gonna move forward and move into 2021.
Hey, Coach, you say in the near future, do you have an idea of what that timeline might look like by next Monday or Tuesday? Is that?
No, I really think, Troy, it's got to be before then. I really, as much of these guys have been through, I don't know if any of us can have a real opinion because we're not in their shoes. And we're not in that age group and all those things. I really feel for them, and we're going to do what we feel is best for them.
Hey, Brady, is Jalen immediately eligible, or what's his status?
Yeah, there's some things that he will be immediately eligible, but, there's a couple waiver deals that we have to do.
And in the quarterback position in general, you're getting a lot of dual threat guys now. Can you talk about a little bit about where the quarterback position has been at Seneca State and where it's headed?
Well, I think there's, 2 things. Everybody talks about dual threat, and believe me, we, obviously, from a defensive perspective, it seems to be a little harder defending some of those type of teams. But I think, if we get the guys that we know we can get, dual threat or pro style, whoever's going to, help us win games, and we felt with Will and Jalen both after, talking with them, interviewing them, watching the tape that's out there. We feel like those 2 guys will come in and compete.
And it looks like the quarterback room's getting a little crowded. Do you expect the guys that are already there to still all be there, or how do you think things will kind of shake out?
Yeah, I think Kirk will, we'll find out sometime here. I think they're all competitive, like anything else. Everybody wants to play. It just so happens that that position, there's only one that plays. So I think, they'll have some guys who possibly may decide to find another home, and we're going to support them.
Okay. Is Salazar graduating?
Yeah, he'll graduate at the end of the spring semester.
So has he decided if he wants to stay as a graduate?
I have not talked to him in that regards.
Okay. Then also, of this entire class, any other guys we haven't talked about that really stick out to you? And which guys of this class could you see taking the field first?
You know what? I never answer that question, Kirk, because I don't know. I mean, we like them all. We think they're good enough. We think that some will compete more than others. But if I name one guy, then I'm going to tick off 22 other households. So I'm not going to name anybody.
Rocky used to say the farther you got away from the ball, the quicker you might be able to see the field. Can you talk in general about?
No, I think that's true. I mean, if I'm a corner, because of what that position is more based on athleticism than, quick key reading and, the offensive line and defensive line are the 2 positions and maybe a quarterback because of their responsibility. But offensive line, defensive line, those two positions, they definitely, especially in our defense, they got to be pretty sharp.
Hey, Brady, with regards to so many of the areas you recruit from not having a season this year, high school wise, can you speak to the challenges that presented for you guys identifying players? And then also, maybe was that a little bit advantageous where you can steal some players that maybe you didn't think you would have a chance versus Power 5 schools or anything like that? Did that situation come up?
Well, no, I think, Todd, both are good questions. I'll address the second one first. I think there isn't any doubt that because of some of the lack of exposure, from spring football, I love going to spring ball and watching guys live and watch them interact with teammates and try and get a good idea of what kind of personality you're bringing in, how competitive they are. So I don't think there's any doubt there's some guys in here that I know have been recruited by the Pac-12, let's say, or some other conferences nationally that we were fortunate enough to have come to San Diego State. The first question, I don't think there's any doubt that you really got to do your due diligence from Zoom meetings and conversations to getting to know the family, to getting to know as much in trusting coaches, high school coaches, and having the right guys who fit our culture and also our needs. So I think you're right on both. It's a different year in a lot of ways because of that, from the recruiting standpoint. So, yeah, I think all those things are in play.
Am I right in saying that 5 of the players that came in are from the Dallas-Fort Worth area?
Yeah.
And why there as opposed to Houston or San Antonio or any other place in Texas?
Coach Horton has a pretty good reputation recruiting that area. He has a lot of ties. When he was at Wisconsin, he recruited that area. He's recruited it. He's from the area. I think there's a lot of, right now we have, 5 guys on our team from Texas. All have been pretty significant as far as playing for us. Texas high school football is really good, just like California high school football is really good, just like San Diego County. We want to keep as many guys here as we can from this county. And I think we need a little help sometimes. But I do think, that area, familiarity is part of it.
Perfect. And then you may have already addressed this, but big class, did you say that you've met all the needs, or are you still open to looking for a few more?
Well, we've got one for sure left, maybe 2. I've this week I'll have conversations with all the upperclassmen, the seniors, have some conversations with some underclassmen who may make decisions to, if they're not playing, find another home and we will help them, do that. But, there may be another D lineman that the right guy who we want. And between another receiver and a running back could be 2 other options.
Brady, question, follow up on Maiden. Is he enrolled on campus? Will he be here for spring football? Has that been cleared already?
Yes, he'll be here in January.
And in the big picture, with the potential to get a whole bunch of seniors back for an extra year of eligibility, is there a cap limit as to how many you might be able to have on scholarship for 2021 beyond, from the 85 plus? And what do you think that number is going to be?
Well, the NCAA, as I understand it, and they're hard to understand sometimes, but you can have numbers replacing all your seniors. Okay, so that would extend the 85 limit. different universities, and probably 95% of them can't afford to go over a certain number. So it's roster management like 501 of trying to figure your roster out and what lies ahead. And some of that I'll know more, by the end of the week after talking with the guys, our upperclassmen and some of the underclassmen.
So does that mean if you have 12 seniors on scholarship would be going out the door, you could actually have 12 more players beyond an 85 limit? Is that how you would think?
NCAA wise, yes.
San Diego State have the financial ability to have 12 more players on scholarship?
Lee, you know that answer.
What does the coach say?
Well, we'd like to have them all.
Coach, you mentioned you were talking about the numbers of 5 from the Dallas-Fort Worth area, but only 1 from the San Diego area. Now, how much do you think?
Oh, there's 2. There's 2 from San Diego. Yeah.
Beg your pardon. Two from San Diego. Still 3 less than Dallas, which is in another state entirely.
Right.
Is any of that have to do with the fact that San Diego and California couldn't play football this fall, and maybe you would have, in a normal year, maybe offered a couple more kids that were late bloomers and had good senior years in the fall?
That's a good question, Troy. I think there's probably some of that, but we recruited 9 guys within this county, and really got 2, and we were in it with them pretty hard. As most of them, we were the first ones to offer, because we feel and we need to know more about them than other schools. And so we the only I can tell you, and there's guys who want to get away from home, and I get that, and there's guys who are going to go to the Pac-12. Now we want to compete against the Pac-12 for all of them. And then there's going to be guys who we don't feel meet our blueprint and culture that we're looking for. So, we're going to recruit the crap out of San Diego. And, that's why I said we need a little help. You guys have a voice. You can help us.
We always do our best, Coach.
Okay.
As far as a lot of parents, players, probably concerned that a senior year of football in the fall hurt their chances of getting scholarship. Can you speak to the recruiting process in terms of how much a senior year means in recruiting? Is that 20% of the recruiting? Is it 50%? Where does that lie?
I think because of the technology today and the availability of, getting huddle tape and getting every game a guy's played, as a junior, as a sophomore, there's a lot of decisions being made on juniors, right? But you're always going to have one of those guys who is a late bloomer, who absolutely, with not the ability to play, really hurt them, and so I guess that's my answer to it. Yeah, I think it does hurt some guys.
You mentioned 4,500 tests, only 2 positives. You already played an entire season. Do you think that helped you? I mean, parents want their kids to be safe. Did that help you this time, or do you think that'll be for the next cycle?
A great question, and one that I never really thought about. I literally got those numbers yesterday because I hadn't asked before, but I was really excited when I did hear 4,500 tests and 2 positives. And there's no doubt, Paul, that's a good selling point that our health and wellness and what we're doing for our guys.
Brady, a question about the junior college ranks. With all those schools having been shut down, does it pretty much eradicate any potential JUCO kids you might look at?
Yeah, I mean, you got to go to, most of them, they get the 1 year in, and most of them are going to be there for 2. So you get the 1 year that may have been this year or last year, and the tape is out there. But I feel bad for those guys. You know, I feel bad for guys who may be free agents in the NFL because they're going to fight every free agent from a year ago. I mean, we had two guys who were free agents, or a guy, really two, and they were in camp for 2 days. They didn't get an evaluation. If you're there 2 days, and I'm talking about the National Football League, it's the same thing as you look at junior college guys. And so, yeah, do I think it hurts? Yes. The whole thing sucks with the lack of guys being able to play a game they love.